New home buyer regrets. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's check out this article from news.com.au about a new home buyer, a young Aussie woman who is regretting buying a home. And there's some elements to this which is pretty much just learning how to grow up, and life isn't the fantasy that you imagine. But also, maybe they made the wrong decision to buy, and I want you to let me know which one you think it is. Am I just becoming the uber grumpy old demi-boomer that I pretty much expect to be turning into? Or, did they make a wrong choice? So an Aussie woman has shared her struggles after becoming a homeowner. Now, I am a fan of Dave Ramsey. I like watching the show and seeing people overcome their debts and succeed in life. But a big part of that is enjoying the schadenfreude of people absolutely making a disaster of a financial situation and talking about it on the radio for our entertainment. It's a give and take. Hopefully they turn their lives around, or others can learn from their disaster. Now, from that, I've kind of got an appreciation for owning a home as a cost and expense, a liability. You buy it for the capital growth that we get means we're property geniuses. I know. I understand that. We're all working on our Facebook courses to sell. But the main reason you're buying a house to live in is for the stability, security, and often when you're raising a family. And hopefully when you are older and retire, you've got your home paid off that you can live in so you don't have that stress. It's your primary home, I don't see as an investment. Anything that you get in capital growth is a bonus and lets you brag at the barbecue. Because, come on, guys, we know the reality. There's costs associated with having a home. And oh boy, I know that. Buying a home is a dream for many people. But one couple, home ownership has turned into a nightmare, and they are not alone, by Sophia. So, an Aussie woman has shared the struggles she and her partner have faced after purchasing a house. Why do they always say partner? Why don't they say husband or wife? Maybe they're not married, I know, but come on, we should be encouraging that. See, I really am turning into a boomer, guys. Kids these days not getting married. What's going on? Back in my day. So, sparking a major debate online in which many Aussies shared that they had regretted becoming homeowners. Sharing with the podcast Two Broke Chicks. Why do you want to talk to broke chicks? The woman explained purchasing a property early this year was the worst investment decision of 2023. And that's the point of difference here. Are you buying an investment? So you want to be a landlord, you're renting it out. Or if you're living in it, that's not an investment. If you're living in it, it's a home, a house, a base of operations. Which is ironic how many people work, move away every bloody day and never see their house all day. But now with more people working from home, it makes more sense. But that's what it is. It's a base for you and your team, your family, to build up your little kingdom. It's not an investment. That's different. Any investment, capital growth, bonus. As the dream of home ownership quickly turned into a nightmare, the woman was said about calling out anyone who glamorized owning a home and thinks it's all wonderful and amazing once you got it. I've literally just paid the builder for all the foundations we've gotten done. So he's coming out and helping us. And, I'll get an invoice. I'm on the computer and I'll pay him within 10 minutes. So he's really happy because he's got a client that actually appreciates what he's done, because I've dug so many foundations myself. I've got labour hire coming tomorrow to dig it up, to clean up the site too. But so, I don't think owning a home is glamorous. It's not the word I would use. Maybe you're watching too many TikToks, but it's necessary. Maybe it's just the difference between boys and girls here. No, I doubt that. I think that a lot of girls watching this channel wouldn't think home ownership is glamorous, particularly those who've built their own homes, or the regulars who've, renovating their bathroom over a year with cash. It's all wonderful, amazing once you got it. Buying a house was a bad investment. My partner and I can't afford a house close to the city, so we bought way out in the suburbs, she said. way out in the suburbs. Ooh, oh no, the suburbs. Although her commute is pretty shit, to be honest. I just had to start working a second job at a local pub a few nights a week due to rising interest rates and needing to afford mortgage payments. So this is the thing, reality set. So she's working 2 jobs to pay the house. Now, I'll be honest here, if they don't have kids, if they're not doing this to build a family, if once you got kids and a family and you're building a base and you're seeing them growing up, life changes. You'll make sacrifices like work an extra job, 2 extra hours, just do all this shit that you don't want to do. But you'll reap the rewards of it. When your little child runs to you really happy and great to see you, and that just makes the hours you spent doing some garbage melt away. It's called growing up, to be quite honest. House maintenance is expensive. No more calling up your landlord. That's your problem now. Wow. I mean, so this shows you. I know it's cool to hate on landlords. You know, everyone's evil landlords, which is bullshit. They provide a service. Okay, they should be national heroes here in Australia for how many people they help house and the shit they have to put up with. I know that's going to piss off a lot of hard lefties, but we need landlords. Now, I would rather that it's privately owned, small individuals owning a few of them, to allow people to use that as a mechanism to build for their retirement. Sure, there's some people that have a whole lot of houses. I know there was one character who was lambasted on the radio because he owned hundreds of houses. He called me up. One of his mates shared my response video to his video, and what he was doing, he had it all worked out. He would build them himself, buy the land. He'd even roll his own framing to get it cost effective, and he'd build duplexes and look at families to rent them out to because it's stable. They always stay there. They take care of the place. He was providing a service. Sure, he's making a shitload of money doing it, but it wasn't without stress. They tore him to shreds. And what we don't want, what I would argue against, is this build-to-rent model. We've got large corporates coming in and building huge developments. So rather than individuals building up their wealth, it's the faceless corporations, the faceless super funds, the faceless government. Who would you rather be your landlord? So, a woman explained she works as a marketing manager with a decent salary, but even that is not enough to cover the rising costs. The latest Finder research revealed the minimum household income required to afford the mortgage, average Australian home, is $182,000, while those owning a unit need about $130,000. Divide that by 2. Okay, household is a couple. Both have to work now. We're not in the 80s or 70s or 60s anymore. So you can't be comparing. So this is good on Finder. You can't be comparing mortgage serviceability to individual income. It has to be to household income. Sure, I would argue it would be much better if we were in a situation where it would be easy for one partner or one parent, or dad or mum, to work and the other to stay home and raise their children. Traditionally, that was the husband-wife dynamic. You divided and conquered. Father had to go out there and work. Mum raised the kids. There's nothing wrong with that. Sure, you can mix it up nowadays in modern times, although I think kids are a lot more based than people realize. I heard stories of dads working from home and their kids getting teased by other kids at school because their dad was a stay-at-home dad. Kids are based, guys. That's why the education system is designed to train them out of that, which is a kind of a problem. But my point is, you need both of you need to work. So that's $90,000 each. That's achievable for professionals. $65,000 each. That's achievable for low-skilled people. Should be. Getting into the city to do anything is expensive and time-consuming, the woman continued. That's the problem. Here's the real terrible thing. The commute takes about 2 to 3 hours a day. Travel is not looking like a viable option for me over the next few years due to the cost of mortgage repayment. So petrol's going up. Electricity's going up. The train is going up. Here in Brisbane, if I were to catch the train in with the kids, it's cheaper for me to drive in and pay for parking. Mind you, I have 6 children with a 7th on the way any day now, so I'm not normal. But it just shows you how expensive it is. I remember commuting from the Gold Coast every day. It adds up when I was doing that, and it's a lot of time. So you've got to keep that in mind. But 2 to 3 hours a day, that sucks. That's shit. That questions what if you made a rash decision buying this property. Because that's time you don't get back. Sure, you can work on the train, but it's hard. It's not comfortable. It's never as good as otherwise. That's one thing I do not miss. The amount of time I can work from home now. I mean, I walked up the street, came here, I got my coffee, got the computer all set up, and I just started recording. So now I'll play with my YouTube before I do some real work. That's my commute. I might jump in the car, go to 7-Eleven and get a coffee. You know, that's my little luxury. $1.50 with the app. Cha-ching. I know renting isn't all sunshine and daisies either, but just want to be real. Listeners of the podcast took to social media to express their views, with some agreeing with the woman and others saying the situation was a great reality check for the couple. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it is. Honestly, owning a house has been the worst thing for my mental health, one person said. Prior to buying, I had money for anything. Constantly traveling, shopping sprees. Fucking hell. Brand new car, etc. What? This is the millennial stereotype. Oh, I can't afford a house. I piss all my money away on this shit. Yeah, it's called growing up. It's called settling down. That's what buying a house is. It's settling down. It's where you plant your roots. This is what you do when you're having a family, guys. Okay? This is the point of it. It's because you don't want to be moving around like a nutcase when you got kids. You want stability for them. So it's not under any financial pressure whatsoever. Since buying, however, so many of my money goes on the house. Do these people... Is this the lot that thought rates wouldn't go up till 2024? It's just the young people learning not to trust the media or government or the Reserve Bank. I've done some renovations which have been upwards of 60k. I used to dream of having 30k to blow on a trip overseas. They continued, how spoiled is this person? Oh yeah, just chucked 60k on the house. I was going to blow 30k. 30k, pissing it away on an overseas trip. You stick that in a dividend paying investment of one type or another, you could 30k, you could get close to $100 a month. So you're blowing on a holiday for hopefully a month, maybe less these days. You're blowing that, infinite internet paid off for the rest of your life just for that. Okay, that doesn't sound that impressive, does it? But you know what I mean. I was talking to an engineering mate just about passive income building up, thinking one little item here, the internet, the mortgage, the food bills, your car insurance, just getting all these little things, using that to track in the little amounts that you earn. You may think $100 is nothing. Well, no, it is. It's your internet every month paid. There you go. I know it's like boo-hoo, you own a home, privileged people. Own a house, privileged people. Problems. But honestly, I wish I'd waited until I was older to buy. Spending my early 20s being responsible and putting the majority of my money to work so hard into the house has been depressing. I've heard this before too. What's his name? The bloke who ran for One Nation down in was it near Hunter? He was I can't remember his name. I have to look it up on Facebook. He said the same thing because he bought young and he wishes he had waited a bit longer and had more adventures. So that, yeah. But then again, I've got other mates who've done this thing. He bought a little place under 200 grand down in Waterford, and it's up. Bought it when he was younger, paid it off. So yeah. Now he and his wife are happily, I've got to give him a Christmas call, are happily going diving and enjoying life together. It's really awesome. The video hits hard to the soul. Buying a house has been the biggest life lesson and puts so much into perspective, shared another. No. Kids do. House is nothing compared to kids. Nah. A house is nothing compared to having children. That really puts life into perspective. So these people still haven't met that milestone. That changes everything. okay, you instantly become a demi-boomer, and there's so much stuff you just see through all the bullshit and don't give a crap anymore, and because you can, what was it? You can make your own humans. No, it changes your perspective. I wouldn't say buying a house is the biggest life lesson. I think someone's got a little bit to learn here. It's just part of life. We all get there. A third said, I regret buying a home. I could have done so much with the money. Everyone lies. A house is a liability. This is true. This is true. I had another mate. He was shitty that he paid his house off too quick. Doing really well. He did the whole thing. He bought a place down in Waterford as well. And that's the suburb south of Brisbane in Logan City there. And it's not bad. Logan is a bit of a slightly lower socioeconomic city than Brisbane, but it's really improved a lot. The quality is going there. There's a lot of nice facilities there. The city is growing. And he bought a little duplex and a whole complex there. Or would it be a townhouse type of thing? You know, single story attached. And he used that as his jumping stone to get a nice inner city house here in Brisbane with a pool, 2 stories, a trendy suburb. And he said he regretted putting all his money to pay off his house so quick when he would rather have probably invested it and used that to generate other income. But he's doing really well financially. Good on him. But that shows you, maybe throwing everything off the house isn't the way to go. That's the one issue I have with Ramsey and his cash mentality, no debt, is, some people will take that to the extreme and not even buy a house until they've got the cash to pay for it up front, which sounds like a Giga Chad move, but in a market like Australia where you're fighting the government with regards to house prices, you're fighting an uphill battle. Earlier this month, the RBA chose to pause interest rates. At the final meeting of 23, amid signs inflation was slowing down, with the rate now sitting at 5.4%. It followed last month's decision, which saw the RBA increase the cash rate to 4.35 in a shock. That's bullshit. That's not a shock. Everyone knew that was happening. In the following 2 years, the rate had skyrocketed by in the previous 2 years, the rate had skyrocketed by 425 basis points with 13 interest rates in 18 months. And yes, we've seen that. That should not be a surprise. If you're surprised by that, if you thought that 0.1% was a sensible interest rate, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, that was an oddity, everyone. The rate is now at the highest level since 2011, 4.35%. Some people weren't as understanding to the struggles the couple faced, and instead urged them to get a reality check. Welcome to life, one person wrote. As another chimed in, buying property is never a bad investment, your convenience is. A woman wrote, it was a bad investment for them. In that situation, buying a house will rarely be a bad investment overall. It gets you into the property game, which then can work to your advantage depending on your goals. At least they're not paying someone else's mortgage and not losing money there, agreed another. I think, honestly, the worst thing about this is their commute. I think 3 hours a day is eating to them and then having to take another job. And the fact they're not doing this for any greater purpose. It sounds like they don't have kids or a family. What's the point of this? It's pointless. You're just doing it, to buy a house and build some wealth? Who cares? You could do that otherwise. So in some ways, I agree with them. They should have waited until they're at the right point in life when they actually needed a house. Because when you're in your 20s, you don't need to own a house. You don't need to settle down. You've got career flexibility. You can move from one city to the other. You can adventure. It's part of life. So maybe they bought too early. One added, mortgage payments, house and land maintenance, council rates, and all those little extras in between. Expensive, but it has definitely taught me to live within my means. I think that's growing up there. That's what happens. A leading chief economist has told Sky News Australia the Reserve Bank could drop rates as soon as the next June quarter. Yeah, if it's going to drop, you're not going to see 0.1% again, guys. Okay, and I think everyone on the channel recognizes that. Most of you are my age or above. So you've got a little bit of life experience. I think it's the young ones that are facing some harsh lessons here, sadly. AMP Capital's chief economist Shane Oliver said the US Federal Reserve's decision to stop raising and start looking at lowering rates next year would mean Australia, Britain and Europe would likely follow suit. It's all heading in the right direction. I think one of the big themes through 23 was disinflation. We had inflation peak in 22, Mr. Oliver said. Consequently, the US Fed is leading the way. They saw their inflation rate peak earlier than other countries. They've seen a long period of decline, so it's understandable that they're now pivoting towards rate cuts. Australia, like the British, are a bit skeptical that inflation is going to come down. Still a bit concerned that it's still too high, so the bias is still toward hiking. But I think we're going through the next few months. It'll be evident in Australia that inflation is continuing to fall. This doesn't mean prices will go down. It means the rate of price increases will go down. So we're still screwed. Okay, guys, stuff's still going to get more expensive. And now we've got a new Labor Premier here in Queensland that wants to be 75% renewable. It just shows you Labor have no understanding of cost of living and what they're doing to the average Aussie. They're just too far removed, guys. That's the reality of it. Okay, lefties, your heroes are shit. Consequently, the RBA probably won't have to raise interest rates, and the next move will be down, but not until the June quarter or probably after maybe the September quarter. So there we have it, guys. Let's have a bit of a chat about this one, eh? So it sounds like, honestly, they are not buying at the right time in their life. When you want to if you're going to be making sacrifices for a home, it has to be more than just a home. Well, no, sorry. They're not making sacrifices for a home. They're living in what they consider an investment. That's different to a home. When I think of a home, I don't think of the house that I'm in. I think of my kids running up to me. The house is just the mechanism to provide them with stability and safety. And in my case, to teach them about the joys of construction. So, yeah, honestly, they bought at the wrong time. If you want an investment, buy in a real estate investment trust or something, where you then stick it in that. You get exposure to the market. Sure, it's not going to be the same as putting all your eggs in one basket, and you can't leverage as much as a mortgage, which is what they're doing. So, yeah, it feels like it's the wrong decision. What do you reckon, guys? And then am I just an old boomer? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Sorry I've been a bit inconsistent with the videos. We've been doing a lot of construction work here at the house. We have finally finished the stage 2 foundation beams, and that involved a lot of digging, a lot of prepping, boxing it all up and getting all the concrete in there, and pretty much having the engineer on the phone do the inspection at his Christmas party, which is fine. He knows that he trusts us, that I'm going to go nuts with it. And so, yes, we're making progress. I'll have to do an update video on that. But that's why I've been a bit, that and the insane amount of work I've got on, that's why I've been unable to keep up with the daily routine. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you all at the next video. Bye for now.